Hey, what is up there, guys? This is Cole. Welcome back to another Sunday's episode of the videos, the vlogs in which I answer your guys' questions from the previous Sunday. So if you've got a question for the next episode, make sure to drop it down below in the comments, and in all likelihood, I'll be answering your question next Sunday. But for this one, we are going to begin with our latest channel member. His name is Jeff. Jeff Butler, goddammit. Jeff, thanks so much for the support, dude. Anybody who hits the join button below this video and joins up to the channel as a goddamn member helps me out an absolute shit ton, given that, well, this channel isn't exactly a monetary machine like it once was back in the heyday, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, any channel memberships you guys sign up for fucking boosts me a lot and helps me keep on making these goddamn videos on the daily. So let's begin with Jeff's question, which is, what advice would you give to a young noob that wants to follow in the footsteps of Cobb? Alright, man. This is an interesting question for a couple of reasons. The first of which is, I ain't goddamn perfect, I ain't a goddamn saint, and I fuck up plenty, but it's kind of interesting to think about because it's one of those things where social media and the lens through which you look at someone's social media profile and their online presence is very, very much a filter, you know what I'm saying? I ain't making videos on my down days, I ain't making videos on my off days, where I'm just not feeling motivated, or I'm in a shit mood, where I haven't showered. Well, fuck, I've done that a couple of times actually. A little bit greasy in some of the Let's Plays, but whatever, man. For the most part, I ain't recording when I don't really feel pumped and motivated, you know? So you guys probably see the best of me on this YouTube channel. Even though I tried to just not really give a fuck and just be myself, yeah, I'm still only uploading when I'm a certain version of myself, you know? So there's that to contend with, you know, there's that to bear in mind. And I suppose I'm going to answer this question based on, or assuming that you're talking about, you know, how do you follow in the footsteps of Cobb? Well, Cobb is my online persona after all, so how do you become a pro Warlock player? How do you, maybe have the nuts to move abroad to chase a career opportunity, you know, into a foreign country in which you've never really visited before or lived in before and don't know the language for? Maybe that's what you're talking about, you know. Cobb is in the writer who's 100,000 words deep into his current work in progress and is around 40k from being finished with Draft 1. I'm going to assume that that's what you're asking, you know? How do you achieve stuff? What keeps me driven? So that's something that I can, by reframing the question like that, maybe that wasn't even what you were asking, Ben, and I apologize if that's the case, I can actually answer that question a little bit, right? So I think that first and foremost, the thing that really sets me apart from the average person, at least, it's guilt, dude. It's guilt. I feel all fucking kinds of guilt, right? I feel guilt when I fuck up at work. I feel guilt when I skip the gym. I feel guilt when I eat an unearned cheat meal or like a very lavish reward style meal like a pizza or whatever, and I haven't been working out as much as I want to. And Christ, I'd even go as far and as deep as saying that I feel guilt just for existing if I'm not spending my time alive productively, or at least in a way that I feel is meaningful, right? Yeah, I'm just a guilty bastard, man. I really impose this on myself a lot, and I really beat myself up, man, when I'm not achieving, you know, what I want, what I've set out to achieve on a day-to-day basis and on a month-by-month and a year-by-year basis, you know? I got all kinds of goals that I want to get done in the day, in the medium term, and in the far, far distant future. Now, obviously, this can be taken to an extreme, and it can become counterproductive, and my advice to you isn't just to make yourself feel guilty and torture yourself over tiny bloopers like that one clip in a PvP video you made like 6 fucking years ago where you spotted that you didn't quite, you know, land the spell lock at the right time, or you fucked up your diminishing returns on your fear, you know, or some shit like that, you know, because that's just ridiculous, and it's a ridiculous trait of me, you know. I only look back and see the things that I fucked up on a lot of the time, and that's something that I gotta work on. What I would say is pay attention to the guilt that you experience when you know that you fucked something up, or when you know that you've neglected something, because you know when you've done that, right? It's one of those things that I think that too many people kind of shy away from. They find it much, much easier to just escape into a video game or a movie or Netflix or whatever, and they try not to focus on what it actually is that cause them to feel like garbage, and instead of doing that, they just kind of throw nice sugary things on top of it and hope that it'll make them feel better. And you know what, man, it does. That works in the short term, you know? But if you're looking to achieve shit, and you're looking to pull shit off, then you gotta be fucking brutally honest with yourself. To use a goddamn WoW analogy, because I think that that's probably the most relatable for a lot of people watching. A WoW analogy, if you want to get good at WoW PvP, you know what you fucking do? This is literally the cleanest advice. This is the cleanest advice, man, I can give to anybody looking to get good at any video game, but WoW in particular, right? You duel people who are better than you. That's what you do, man. That's what you fucking do. That's the secret sauce right there. I spent a long time just getting my fucking ass handed to me outside of Orgrimmar in World of Warcraft, you know? Getting my fucking ass kicked in duels. And I would duel, and I'd thank them for the duels, and hey man, do you mind if we take another swing at this? I want to try it with this demon, I want to try it with this build, and I'd find dueling partners, and I would get my ass kicked until I didn't get my ass kicked. And it wasn't nice, man, it was work, you know? I wasn't fucking having fun getting my ass handed to me the whole time, and even when I'd win these duels eventually, it would feel like there'd be fucking sweat rolling down my back, you know? I'd be like, god damn. It was just painful. Learning is painful. That's another thing to bear in mind as well. If it hurts, you're fucking learning something, okay? So don't shy away from that shit, you know? And guilt is a form of pain. So, yeah, going back to the original point, focus on that shit. Not too much. Don't destroy yourself, right? But when you fucked up, really acknowledge it in yourself. It might take you a while to come around to it, but you got to confront it eventually and just stop doing whatever it was that made you feel guilty. Just fucking stop doing it, man. Just stop doing it. It sounds way easier than it is. It sounds way easier than it is, man. I promise you that. But that's the key, man. That's the key. Something makes you feel weak, stop doing it. Work it out, man. And the next thing that I would say, the next piece of advice that I would give, and this is something that I just really started picking up on, I'd say maybe in the past couple of years, now that I am working in more of a people managing position in my current line of work, and that is take responsibility for everything that is going bad and wrong or could be better in your environment. Everything, man. Everything other people do around you, right? It's your fucking responsibility, man, to set a better example, you know? Don't blame things on goddamn circumstance. Don't blame things on happenstance. Don't rely on luck. Don't wait for goddamn opportunities to come strolling along so that you can fucking sort your shit out. No. Sort your shit out right now, man. Right now. You know what you could be doing better. You know what I'm saying? You know what you could be doing better. And if it's making you feel weak and guilty, take responsibility for that shit. Take responsibility for that shit and fix it, you know? So responsibility, that's really a big one. That's something that I didn't take seriously until I began to realize that, I mean, every single thing that you do actually matters and affects everything else around you as well. You know what I'm saying? So those are my two tips, man. Those are my two tips, you know? Responsibility and embrace guilt. Not too much. Don't destroy yourself. But guilt is a very useful emotion to feel, man. Painful, but it'll get you to where you need to be, man. Next question comes in from another channel member by the name of Vincent Brown. What's up, man? What are your favorite foods to eat that are healthy? Short and sweet. Alright, man, so first of all, quick disclaimer, I ain't no goddamn diet expert, right? My main advice to anybody looking to improve their diet is just to eat it the way it was cut out of the animal or dug up from the earth or picked from the tree, right? The less processed anything is that you're eating, that's typically better. And that's just a good, kind of common sense starting point, I suppose, that anybody can, get started with towards eating a little bit healthier. I'm also a big believer in eating foods that you actually want to eat and you actually enjoy. If you're gonna try to, I'm gonna eat super healthy, and then you just live off of raw broccoli and spinach and fucking you're just not gonna enjoy your life. You know what I mean? I'm a big believer in actually enjoying your diet and looking forward to the next meal, right? I'm also a big believer in making it easy. It's gotta be easy, man. You can't be spending goddamn billion years preparing every new meal and we need a little bit of this seasoning, and if I'm missing these olives then this isn't gonna work, and getting all fucking tied up about it. No, just Bit of chicken, bit of rice, bit of veg. Done. Done. It's got to be that fucking simple, you know? So to answer your question in earnest, I guess I would go with, if I could name like the top 3, just quick, fast, easy foods that are just generally good for you. The first one would just have to be plain Greek-style yogurt, blob of jam, and a chopped up banana, or just like a snapped up banana in there. Mix it up. Done. Nice, cold in the summertime, you know, nice and refreshing. It's kind of like ice cream, kind of like a banana, but not as sweet and not as like sugar laden. Don't drown it in the jam. You know what I mean? There's always the temptation to do that, but try to shy away from that, and it's just tasty. The next would have to be the staple of just chicken and rice. Chicken and rice, man. Chicken and rice. Brown rice if you can. Brown rice is obviously better than white. Generally, again, not a fucking expert. Calm the fuck down, all you goddamn insane people out there who obsess about this kind of thing. Just eat some whole chicken breast. Remove the skin if you're trying to cut calories from your diet. You know, just eat that good, clean, white chicken breast. Bit of rice. Throw a few veggies on there if you want. If you don't want, it's not that fucking big of a deal, okay? Chicken and rice is better than like frying the shit out of the chicken and then eating it with fries. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to go that far to get a big improvement, you know? And the last would be, and this is going to be, I don't imagine many people are going to try this one out, but for me this helps a lot. I struggle to work veg into my meals, so what I'll do is once a week, I'll just boil up a huge fucking cauldron, okay, of goddamn spinach, broccoli, to the point where it's like really soft, you know, it just turns into like a soup, and peas. That's what I do, man. Oh, and onions as well, like chopped onions, because it just really helps the flavor, you know. Bit of salt, bit of pepper, blah, blah, blah. Leave it to fucking simmer for like 45 minutes. It goes all soft and smushy. And I call it, it's like the Resto Druid healing elixir. You know what I'm saying? And once a week, roughly speaking, I'll try to remember to do that. And that huge bowl of soup that I make will usually last like a couple of days. And it's just like a huge infusion of all those good vitamins. You know what I'm saying? Of all those veggies that I missed over the past, 5 days before that. Because I don't eat as much veg as I really should. I should also note as well, just kind of briefly, that I'm very much kind of tailoring my diet towards trying to put on weight. I'm trying to put on mass. You know what I'm saying? And it's something that I'm not like going at it super hardcore. I'm not eating like fucking 8 meals a day or something crazy like that, you know? I ain't Rich Piana over here. But I eat a lot of dairy. I eat a lot of dairy, man. A lot of eggs, a lot of cheese, a lot of milk, a lot of yogurt, like I said. I eat a lot of like high fat foods, man. And a lot of high protein foods and a lot of meat. I eat meat like twice a day. I must go through like 4 or 5 eggs a day, pretty much every day, you know. So I just don't want to give off the impression that my diet is like some kind of super healthy, super food infused thing that I got going on. No, I'm going to the gym, you know. I'm trying to put on size insofar as I can manage. Made some progress along the way, and that's grand, and it's been slow and gradual. So that's grand, and those are my goals, you know what I'm saying? It's not a diet I recommend to everybody, but I just want to I just want to clarify that, you should tailor your diet to your lifestyle. But again, if you want to improve your diet instantly, just stop eating processed shit. It's really that simple. It's just like blanket advice. The next question comes in from Stefan Petrovic, or Petrovic. Hey Cobb, can you share what kind of job you moved to Bulgaria for? Is it an editing job or something else entirely? I'm also looking for some kind of change. I finished law, but it's kind of a local thing where each country has its own legislation, which limits me on that department. Okay, so I think I'm fit to get raw on this damn question, man. We're fit to get raw with you, Stefan. So, let me tell you what's up. I moved to Bulgaria. Actually, before I moved to Bulgaria, let's just preface this a little bit. I must have edited over 1,000 videos with GameLeap, you know? I'm actually got the GameLeap shit on right now, man. Look at that shit. Edited about 1,000 videos with GameLeap, so it was primarily an editing job, editing, thumbnailing videos, that kind of thing, with a little bit of kind of man management in between, you know? Overseeing the work of a few other editors on the team and making sure everybody was on the same page and producing and working at the same standard, you know? And now that I'm over here, Jesus, man, over the past couple, again, I must have edited maybe another 1,000 videos or something since I got here. But yeah, now that I'm kind of established over here and I'm very, very involved with the inner workings of the team and all of that, my position at Game Leap is very much, again, man management focused and developing new tools and new gadgets and stuff for the editors to use on the product to make the best product that we possibly can, you know? But yeah, besides that, it's just a lot of man management. So you mentioned that you were looking for some kind of change and that, you know, you're feeling a little bit maybe restricted to your local area because of I'm assuming the degree that you got in law. So all I can really do is kind of go off. Maybe some of this advice is going to help you. Maybe it isn't, because your issue's a little bit vague, and I ain't gonna lie, I don't really have much experience with your exact breed of query. So I'm just going to go for it, and I'm going to begin by saying that the more I work with people, and the more I, you know, manage people, and the more I direct people myself and work with teams and stuff like that, the more I understand a couple of things. The first of those is that the education system as it exists right now, 80% of it is completely fucking useless and a massive waste of time. And if it sounds like I'm a little bit resentful about that time that I wasted, yeah, it's because I fucking am, dude. School sucked donkey dick, man. It was horrible. It was garbage. It was a waste of time. And it was an extra special waste of time because I knew. I didn't know what I could be doing that was better, but I knew that this couldn't possibly be the best way for me to spend my time. I knew that at like age 9, dude. Okay, and that sentiment only grew, you know, through the rest of my schooling career, the rest of my schooling sham shit show. In my opinion, what the 3 most important factors are that you've got to consider and excel at and try to hone in your life if you're looking for success in the workplace, they're very, very simple, and none of them are really honed or taught or keened in school at all. So I don't mean to like shit all over your education. I'm pretty sure that if you do have a degree in law, that's fantastic, and that's probably the 20% of your education that's actually very, very useful and relevant and applicable and was challenging for you and all of that shit, and that's all grand. But at the end of the day, problem solving, right? Work ethic and fucking pain tolerance. Those 3 things, man. Problem solving, work ethic, pain tolerance. Those are the 3 things that will decide what you're going to be able to achieve, man, when it comes to workplace success and career. In my opinion, in my experience, right? Which is somewhat limited, but pretty concentrated at the same time, you know? And again, none of these things are taught in the schooling systems in most fucking countries. Honestly, in most goddamn countries, most places, people would do a lot fucking better if they just... And I ain't condoning this, alright? I'm not recommending that you do this if you have kids or, you know, other young people that you're responsible for or whatever, but I hardcore wish that I'd just been pulled from school at like age 13, man, and I just started some kind of job, washing dishes or just anything, really, anything but fucking school. Something in which I can actually apply myself and earn some money and get some fucking experience working with other adults and blah, 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 you know. I say other adults like I was an adult when I was 13. Obviously I wasn't, but it's like, school's stuff. It's just a fucking joke. It's a joke, man, honestly. So my advice to you, Stefan, man, if you do have those 3 things, that, you know, work ethic, pain tolerance, all of that good stuff, if you got all those things, which I'm sure that you do, given that you finished a law degree, it means that you have those at least in some measure, right? Then what I would recommend to you is to just get fucking raw, right? And do all of the little fucking things, all of the little pushes that make you uncomfortable, but need to be done to get you ahead of the competition, man, right? If you want a goddamn change in your life, it ain't gonna happen on its own, man. It ain't gonna happen on its own. You have to consider that, especially in something like law, right? If you want to get a job that's like linked to your vocation, you know, you got to consider just how goddamn competitive that field is, man. If you want to get a job elsewhere, or you want to secure a job over another potential candidate for that same job, it's like, man, you got to be fucking killing it. You got to be on your shit, you know. I don't even know exactly what that entails for you because I don't know your personal situation, but effectively, you have to be willing to do all of those little things that other people are simply not willing to do. Even if that means establishing your own fucking consultation business or whatever, set out on your own if you need to, man. God, man, it's fucking hot in here. I like to think at least that that's what I would do if I was in your position, It was never enough, for example, in WoW to just churn out a PvP video, and that was it for me, back in those old days, because again, I think this is probably something that you guys can relate to, given that most of y'all watching right now probably followed the PvP videos back in the day. For me, it was never enough, man. It was never enough. I was never, ever fucking satisfied, man, with the views on the video, with the engagement, with the quality of the clips. That was a big one for me. I'd watch other people's montage and I'd be like, wow, I wouldn't have put that clip in there. That wasn't good enough, man. A 1v1 followed by a 1v1 against 2 undergeared plebs. Garbage, man. Trash. Deleted. I deleted so many fucking clips like that, dude, that most people would have probably thought were okay. And no, man. For me, it had to be fucking 3v1s on top of airships and what the hell's that BG called again? Fuck it. Isle of Conquest, It had to be just the craziest, most ridiculous shit ever that took months and months and months for me to record, and I that would be my message to the world, that they're like, look at what I've made here, right? And I think that's what you're going to do with yourself. That's what you're going to do in all aspects of life in terms of career. If you want to get ahead, man. If you want to get ahead, you got to do all of those little things. I find that it's really nice to play this little kind of thought game on yourself, this thought experiment with yourself, and that is to understand and really know and think about the fact that there are other people out there just like you, right? Probably around the same age as you, who have the same career goals as you, and they want to do what you want to do, man. Problem is, they ain't but so many spaces in the world for people like you to actually achieve their goals, man. There are 100 people out there. Christ, there'll be 10,000 people out there, man, like you right now, Stefan, right? That want to do exactly what you want to fucking do. But there's only 50 spots on that boat, man. There's only 50 seats on that train, Are you going to do whatever the fuck it takes to get your goddamn ass on one of those seats? Because that's what it's going to take, man. You got to do all of the little things that they can't be asked to do. You got to do all the little things that are too painful for them to push themselves through, And if you start thinking of things like that, every time you hit a challenge, man, on the way to your goals, right? Whether it's a goddamn gym goal, whether it's a career goal or whatever, this thought experiment applies as well. Think of it like a goddamn... those massive hedges that horses jump in horse races, right? Well, you're one of those goddamn jockeys riding those horses, okay? And then you see those massive fucking jumps that these horses got to get over. Every second jump, like 2-3 horses fall, right? Those are people who failed to make the jump, literally, right? They failed, they tripped, they snapped their shit up, they're out of the fucking race. Or worse yet, they just chickened out before they got kind of close to that jump, to that challenge, and they said, you know what? Fuck all of this, man. And they just kind of turned back and said, this isn't for me, right? But you got to make all those goddamn jumps. You got to make all those goddamn pushes. And every time you conquer one of those fucking challenges on the way towards your career goal, know in the back of your mind, because it's actually true, that there are people out there who have come to that same fence, to that same hurdle, and they failed to make that jump, man. They failed to make that jump. They're being combed out of the runnings for who's going to take that first place prize, you know what I'm saying? And that's what you're pushing for, man. That's what you're pushing for. So, as for how you're going to move country and all that, I can't possibly answer that. But when it comes to getting ahead of the competition, I hope that some of my ramblings here were, at least a little bit helpful, man. But, yeah, that's my philosophy on work ethic and, workplace success and all of that, Take it all as a fucking challenge and destroy the competition. That's what it's all about, man. Do whatever the fuck it takes. God damn it. Man, I really hope my microphone my microphone audio hasn't been all over the place in this recording. It keeps on falling down, man. It goes quieter. Apologize for that. Last question comes in from Clavdivs asking, how do you envision a warlock? Not necessarily from a gameplay perspective, but from a fantasy one. What captures the essence of the word or class for you, if that makes any sort of sense? It does make a little bit of sense. Man, what do I think of when I think of a warlock, man? Because I'll be really honest, it's very much not a destruction warlock like Blizzard used to imagine them. Like, you might think that I'm going to say something like, oh, like a Destrolock in BC or Wrath. But no, not really, man. When I think of a warlock, I think more of like a bearded old hermit who spends years at a time cooped up in some little underground hovel surrounded by candles and books and charms used for incantations, and he's a little bit insane, he's a little bit crazy, you know, and people in the kingdom in which he dwells kind of just avoid that area because fucked up things seem to happen there, crazy summonings and blah blah blah, you know. That's what I think of when I think of a warlock, you know. Like a lone, eccentric kind of little bit insane, maybe a little bit senile even as well if it's an older warlock, losing his marbles a little bit, but extremely magically potent. Let me just check up on Google real fast, man. Define warlock. What does Google say a warlock is? A man who practices witchcraft. A sorcerer. Yeah. A warlock is a male witch, right? Witches and warlocks. It's something like that. Let me just search Google images real fast. Warlock, yeah, like hooded dude. Okay, yeah, cool, wizard. We got some Gul'dan action over there as well. You guys obviously can't see it, and that is all for your guys' questions for this week. God damn it. So, thanks for stopping by, everybody. A little bit of a shorter episode, this one, but that's alright. Just a handful of questions to go through. And, yeah. Drop any questions you do have down below, so which I can answer them in next week's episode, man. But for now, thanks for stopping by, everybody. Hope you all enjoyed this episode of Sundays, and I'm going to catch all of you guys just a tad bit later.